Today I choose to follow you.
Good morning. This is Wednesday, the 23rd of August, and this is Coffee with God. Trust that you got a decent cup of coffee. If you made it yourself, you know you'll like it. 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 17. 2 Korings 6, verse 17. Now, the background is the king of Aram was making war against Israel, and he said to them, listen, find out where the prophet Elisha is. I want to capture him. So he gets told that the prophet is in a certain town, and he sends his army, and in the night they circle the town, and Elisha's servant goes out the next morning, and he looks up to the hills, and he just sees these chariots and horses and this whole army surrounding the town, and he comes into Elisha, and he says, man, it's hopeless. And then Elisha says, don't be afraid. Do not fear. More those who are with us than those who are against us. And then he says in verse 17, then Elisha prayed and said, Lord, please open his eyes so that he may see. And the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. And later, when the army comes down and they ask Elisha if he knows, he says, no, man, you're even in the wrong city. But don't worry, I'll lead you to find and show you where the man is that you're looking for. And then he takes him into Samaria. He takes him to a town in Samaria. Eventually, he gives them food, and they go off and they leave him alone. Incredible ending to the story. But I want to focus in on what gives Elisha the courage to face this hopeless situation. You and I today, I don't know what's on your agenda. I don't know what's on your program for the rest of this week. Ek weet nie wat voor lê nie. Ek weet nie wat waarna toe jy insien of eintlik nie insien nie, want dit voel vir jou asof dit hopeloos is. Miskien dink jy daar's net te veel werk. Ek kry nie die evangelie verkondig in my eie huisgesin of met my broer of met dit of met hierdie vriend van my. Ek weet nie hoe om God in hierdie situasie in te bring. And you get overwhelmed by the tasks, and you get overwhelmed, and it feels as if the situation is just hopeless. The battles you're fighting just never seem to have an end. The army has surrounded you. The army of the enemy has surrounded you, and you feel as if you're under attack. Let me encourage you to get up and get going this morning, because we're not called to be superheroes. We're not called to be the saviors of the universe. You and I are not called to lead the charge against the enemy. We're merely to see where God is working and then come alongside. And that takes all the pressure and all the fear out of, because that which is happening to me and around me is because I'm aligning myself with the will of God. And the will of God will prevail. God works all things out for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. It's a sure thing. God is victorious, and you and I are not called to go fight battles and armies. That's why Elisha didn't storm out there and attack the army. Elisha didn't just try and find a hole to climb into, and he just in that situation saw, but I'm not alone here. I'm busy doing the Lord's work, and I'm busy aligning myself. I'm coming alongside what the Lord is busy doing. And so where the Lord is the safest place to be on earth. En die wil van die Here is die veiligste plek om te wees. Want dan kom jy langs aan God en jy werk saam met God in 'n situasie. Moenie probeer op jou eie te gaan werk nie. En moenie 'n werk begin en dan God nooi om saam met jou daai werk te kom aanpak. Kyk en wees bewus van waar God besig is om te werk, en dan gaan staan jy saam met hom in die werk. And God's working in your place of work. God's working in your community. God's working in your neighborhood. God's working in your church. I don't feel the pressure to save every soul who comes into my church. That's God's work. I'm just working alongside him. I'm just coming along and, hey, let's do this, Lord. I see you working here. I want to be a part of it. I've said it how many times? The elephant and the mouse cross the bridge, the hanging bridge, and as they walk across the bridge, obviously shakes and rattles and rolls and moves. And when they get to the other side, the mouse turns to the elephant and says, man, we shook that bridge. Have that kind of courage as you go into this day. Find out where God's working. See how God's working in the situation. And it may be that an enemy is sitting across the table from you. It may be in your own home that there's an attack on your life. What does Elisha say? Lord, please open his eyes so that he may see. My prayer for you is, Lord, please open their and my eyes today that we may see you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. May the Lord bless you.